Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of XRP, taking a look at the most recent price action here and what I think is likely to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, check it out, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. Okay, let's get right on into this. XRP paired up with the USDT on the hourly chart and Binance is our data source. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at what's going on. Last time we were speaking about this, we obviously had our higher expectations. We're talking about how it just wasn't really living up to everything else that's going on in the space and it was a little bit lackluster. But good news is it has actually broken above our line here at 36.05, broke past the 36.40, and it is now up in our supply zone. I don't think this is going to be a major stopping point. I do think we are going to continue this run upwards a little bit more here as we kind of look to finish off our corrective structure. So there's still plenty of time here, I think, for XRP to kind of come up into some of these higher ranges, but you know, there's a lot of resistance here to kind of work through, so nothing in straight lines and all the usual kind of stuff. So let's go into see what is going on with the structure here. What do we have? Some kind of like zigzag? Is it a double zigzag, triple zigzag, or are we in some kind of impulsive 5-3-5-3-5 kind of structure? Because this will ultimately determine how high this C wave can actually go before we start thinking about major corrections to the downside. As we can kind of see, all of this is really minor in the grand scheme of things. We are still looking at trying to track down a fraction lower here overall. So there isn't anything too much to get excited about, but you know, we'll jump into it and see what's going on. So let's go ahead and take a look in here, right? So straight off the bat here, we do have corrections here, we then have corrections here. So all of this looks corrective. We don't have, in my opinion, a good solid kind of 5-wave count. I mean, there's probably the best one that I can see right in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 with the ending diagonal, and it's probably worth just checking that just to make sure that that is kind of aligned to the rules. And yeah, no, it's not. It's just short. Actually, it would have to be that this would be the third wave, then we'd have to have the fourth and then the fifth like that. That would be the only way to get that one to work. And if I just sense check this area as well whilst I'm here, if we do that, then yes, this would be a wave 3, this a 4, and then that a 5. So we'd end up with that 5 waves being our kind of structure towards the end. So we would end up with something that would look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then overextension on 5. And you know, we could argue if we did it like this, I think we would miss that opportunity. So yeah, it still would be technically valid, so that's okay. So we could even do it like that as well. So I think that would be a nice way of kind of looking at that. So we'd have 5, 3, come here for 5, and it would be worth then checking this structure just in here, cross to here. And yeah, this will then ticks off this box, meaning that this is all looking pretty good so far. And then we would go 1, 2, all of this is 3, this will be our 4th, and then we've got to go up into 5. And then if I zoom out, we end up with a 5-3-5-3-5 for our C wave. And there we go. And that there would then be 3-3-5 regular flat, in my opinion. So let's go into this and find out where we could potentially be heading. We'll grab a little yellow box and I'm going to draw it right in on here. This being 38.72 to 39.58. Delete the fibs. This little yellow box area here would be our area. Now, obviously, our supply zone is here, and there's a little bit of overlap in there. So that would be interesting. Let's take a look at this structure from the lows. 1, 2, ending diagonal structure. There's a lot of overlap, or it's a leading diagonal. There's a couple of different options and variables that could be going on here. We could end up with an overextension if this is a leading diagonal. If it's an ending diagonal, then we're probably only barely going to touch into this at around the 38.72, and that would be that. So this would be 1, 2, probably going to have to come here for 3, small 4 with overlap of 1, and then a 5th. And that 5th could, of course, truncate. It could also, do many different things. So just keep an eye on that. Now, overall, that would actually then put us into a nice kind of structure, and our expectations on this ABC structure would then actually start to line up quite nicely with our theoretical highs coming in. Put it right about here at 39.81, so slightly higher on the supply range, just a little fraction higher there. So all in all, it's looking pretty good from a wave count perspective. XRP is looking like it's coming right up into the zones. Looks like it's looking to kind of complete everything in there, in my opinion. From our stochastic RSI point of view, we've got some corrections still to happen here on the 1 hour. On the 4 hour, it can go either way, I guess. On the 8 hour, we've got to look for massive moves to the downside. Same with the 12, 16, 20 hour, they all need correcting down. The daily needs correcting down. So not looking great on those timeframes, on those slightly larger timeframes. So I do think, yeah, slightly push higher here, slight push higher on the 1 hour, 4 hour charts into this kind of 5th wave, and then a break to the downside from there. So all in all, yeah, that's kind of what I would expect of XRP, approximately 38.72, not terribly too much more. And then from there, yeah, we can break on down. So if I zoom out of this and we start taking stock of the entire thing, in fact, actually, I'll probably come to the daily for this because the daily is going to illustrate quite nicely, I think, the things that we kind of talk about a fair bit on the space. Let's go ahead and grab my parallel channels. So XRP can be a little bit difficult sometimes to get a good steer on, specifically when it comes to kind of the level of FOMO from retail investors. Now, there are some positives in here that are probably worth noting, specifically right down where we are. Okay, so if I put a parallel channel in here, these, right, going down, right, they're into lower highs and lower lows, we're breaking out of this. This is a positive, right? We can see that we're positively breaking upwards here. But this has a limit, in my opinion, on the wave counts, and we are likely to get pulled on down. The other way of kind of looking at this, in fact, actually, it would all be all the way down here as well, right? The other way of kind of looking at this is to flip it. And to flip this, actually going from this way over here, if I can get hold of, so I'm not going to be able to, can I get that? No, okay. Let me, yeah, it'd be actually a bigger view, and it would be over here. From this low and this one over here, and then we pull this up. Right now, this is higher lows and potentially actually higher highs as well, if we were to map this all the way back over here, for example. But it's not massive, it's not huge, it's more of just a continuation. It's just a kind of sideways trading pattern, which means we continue whatever led into it. Now, the thing with this one is that this was going down, where we then started to go sideways into this kind of continuation, which means we've got to come down out of it. Be interesting to kind of see how that plays out. Typically, the things that we look for are the lower lows and the higher lows, because these tend to give us actually a pretty good kind of movement in the space, right? Higher highs and higher lows break down, and lower lows and lower highs break upwards. So for the most part, yeah, this is a bit of an unusual one. It's just a bit of a ranging market. There's a little bit of fluctuations from here and there, and specifically from the lows of June up towards 55 cents and back down. All of this, though, it is still looking very corrective to me. So we'll see. Interesting to see how this kind of plays out. But I am still expecting a move down towards 26 cents at some point. That hasn't changed. And the other thing to kind of bear in mind is if I clear out some of this and I just move this on the different time frames, just to move these from here, we grab hold of this. Yeah, I'm on the day. Yeah, I want it on the hourly, not the daily. There we go. I'll get rid of that as well, right? We have this trend line. This trend line basically was first tested up here on the 10th of November 2021. It was tested again over here on the 28th of March 2022. It was tested over here on the 8th of October 2022. And, so far, this is coming in line with our 200 EMA. So even if we were to push up towards 42 cents here for XRP, I estimate rejection is something that we should be blissfully aware of, and we should kind of come on down. There is no reason at Rhyme to think that XRP is going to break through this trend line or the 200 EMA at this particular point in time. So just kind of keep that in mind. These are things that we'll be looking for. We'll be looking to see whether we can break above the 200 EMA, and of course we'll be looking to see whether this trend line remains its strong trend line. It was actually tested here as well on the 5th of November 2022. So lots of tests on this trend line, none of them have been broken, so it's all looking like we're just coiling up for a bit of a move to the downside. So watch the space. I don't think the bull run started. I think there's still a lot more pain to come. It's been far too easy in this bear market so far. So if you found this useful and informative, hit that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, tap the bell, and stay up to date with all the videos. And if you haven't joined us in Discord, check it out. Link in the description below. Until the next one, have a fantastic day.